Hi, this is Rabbi Koretzky here at MEOR, Maryland, at the University of Maryland, College Park. I currently run the MEOR organization here on campus, but for many years I had the privilege, the pleasure, the honor of being a very active NCSYer, serving on the national board, and NCSY is an organization that really transformed my life. So it's really my pleasure today to share a few words with some of my fellow alumni. We have coming up the holiday of Shavuot. And we know the holiday of Shavuot is one of the most profound and critical days in the Jewish calendar. Of course, it's the day on which we received the Torah itself. And what else defines us as a nation, as a people, if not for this Torah? Yet when we think about this day, and when we think about the context in which this day is placed in the Torah, there is a number of very enigmatic dimensions to it. First of all, let's look at the name of the holiday itself. The name Shavuot, it means weeks. What other day in the Jewish calendar, what other holiday has a name which tells us so little about the character of the day itself? We know Sukkot is about the sukkahs that we sat in, or the Ananei HaKavod, the protective clouds that protected us during our stay in the desert. Pesach, Passover, tells us about the miracle of God's passing over the Jewish homes as He prepared to take us out of Egypt. Shavuot, weeks. How does that tell us anything about the Jews receiving the Torah on this incredibly transformational day in Jewish history? Furthermore, the Torah doesn't actually give us a date for the holiday of Shavuot. All it does is tell us that on the second day of Pesach, we should begin counting what we know as Sfirat HaOmer, counting 49 days, and after that concludes, we get to the holiday of Shavuot. We arrive automatically at that day. Very strange. Give us a date. Tell us when it's supposed to be. Don't tell us that it comes after some other period of time. And there are many other questions related to this, but in our short few minutes here together, I'd like to just address a fundamental idea related to the holiday that will answer these and many other questions. You see, the holiday of Shavuot does not stand on its own, but it's part of a process. It's part of a long 7-week journey that began on the 15th of Nisan, that began when we sat together with our families, with our communities at the Seder table. Pesach, Passover, is the holiday of inspiration. It's a holiday in which we were greeted with miracles, open miracles that catapulted us from this enslaved nation living amidst another nation and brought us out. The death of the firstborn, the exodus from Egypt, the splitting of the Red Sea, all brought us to this new place and allowed us to begin our own national journey, our free national journey. And yet, Pesach alone is not enough. Pesach was only that catalyst, it was that inspiration, it was that spark. But Pesach has to lead to a Sfirat HaOmer, to a counting of the Omer. What's the counting of the Omer? It's that we come each and every day, one after the other, building block after building block, creating this structure that is not suffused with open miracles, with inspiration alone, but forces us to build our own future, to build our own identity throughout the normalcies of life. And finally, through that process, we get to a Shavuos. We get to the transcendence of a day in which we've taken that inspiration, we've built it, we've made it into something that we've created for ourselves, and finally we arrive at this ultimate destination. That's what Shavuos is. Shavuos is the destination that can't exist on its own. It only exists if we have had the Pesach experience, if we've had the Sfirat HaOmer experience, if we've built ourselves into vessels that are now ready to receive the light of a Shavuos holiday. Shavuot only happens because we count to it. It has no identity of its own. It's called weeks because it's the product, the byproduct, the natural expression, the natural outcome of 7 weeks of intensive personal spiritual work. If we have merited to do that work, then we will merit to celebrate the holiday of Shavuot. It has no date of its own. It only has the date of count the 49 days, and then Shavuot will occur naturally as an outgrowth of everything that came before it. And this, I think, helps us understand a little bit why Shavuot is probably the most underappreciated and under-celebrated holiday in the entire Jewish calendar. People know about Pesach, Yom Kippur, even Hanukkah, which is a rabbinic holiday. But Shavuot, it's the unappreciated stepchild of the Jewish calendar. The reason may be because Shavuot on its own has no real identity. Yes, it's the day we receive the Torah, but we have to be ready to receive the Torah. We have to be worthy of receiving the Torah. And that only happens if we prepare ourselves. And so a day that has no unique rituals, no exciting family gatherings, no natural experiences, going out into the wilderness, shaking a lulav and esrog, hearing a shofar, none of those things. All it is sitting and experiencing the glory of the holiday and the glory of that relationship that we try to build with our Creator through receiving His Torah. It only comes as a byproduct of all the hard work we do before. And thinking about speaking to NCSY alumni, again, of which I count myself very proudly among, NCSY is incredible in that it gives us this amazing inspiration, this amazing spark to go out into the world and to create a powerful Jewish future. But it only has the power, it only has the staying power if we ourselves invest each and every day in building through perhaps what is not always exciting and inspired, building that mundane but incredibly important journey, one brick after the other. NCSY gave me that amazing start, but it was up to me and is still up to me each and every day to take that next step in my own journey. And as NCSY alumni, the proudest testament we can offer to those who have invested so much in us, their time, their resources, so much energy, is by not simply looking back nostalgically at that NCSY experience, but at taking that NCSY experience and using it as a mandate, as a call to action in our own lives to live Jewishly each and every day. In the times of excitement and fanfare, but also in the times of mundanity, of day-to-day living. By doing that, we give the ultimate honor to those who have invested in us. Thank you for allowing me to share a few words with you. May we all merit to have a profound, transcendent Kabbalat Torah, receiving of the Torah. May we utilize these last few days together as we prepare for the holiday to make ourselves worthy, to make ourselves open vessels to receive that light now and each and every day that follows, and continue to bring that beauty of NCSY into our lives, into the lives of our families, current and future, building, changing the Jewish people. Chag Sameach.